Normally, this is a time to be excited for the very next FIFA, but unfortunately, if you are a Pro Clubs player and that is your favorite game mode, you really don't have much to look forward to. EA have released a trailer which does break down all the new changes coming to Pro Clubs for FIFA 23, but all in all, there's nothing too crazy. In this video, we will be going through the changes which have been revealed and I'll be sharing my opinion. But before we do get into the video, if you're still playing FIFA 22 Ultimate Team and you're looking to get some very easy coins, then make sure that you do head over to Mule Factory. Over there, you can get yourself some cheap, fast FIFA 22 coins, completely reliable, and if you use Fnatic 5 at checkout, you also get yourself a 5% discount. Link can be found in the description down below. Getting back into the video, we somewhat expected this to happen. Normally, Ultimate Team is always the game mode which gets the most attention because it is the biggest moneymaker. The other game modes such as Career Mode, Volta and Pro Clubs, they do still get changes, but it's just nowhere near as good as what Ultimate Team has here. Not to mention that Ultimate Team is already a much more established game mode, where other game modes, they still feel like they're years behind. A good example of that is Seasons. Seasons has been available in Ultimate Team for the last couple of years. Last year it was finally introduced to Volta, this year has finally been introduced to Pro Clubs. It's still years behind what is currently Ultimate Team. But before this turns into a rant, let's actually go through the changes which have been confirmed. Firstly, there is a shared progression system. So as we was briefly mentioning, Ultimate Team has had seasons for the last couple of years. Volta got seasons last year. Now, this year, Pro Clubs will also be able to participate within a season, but it is shared with Volta. Now, how this is laid out, it does seem like it was a last-minute decision. Towards the end of every game that you play, you'll have a breakdown, which is how much XP you've been able to get from that match, whereabouts you're going to be placed in your overall rank, plus also whereabouts you're placed with the season. But for you to claim your rewards, you actually need to back out of Pro Clubs, enter into Volta and claim your rewards there, ready for you to go head back over to Pro Clubs, and that's where you can actually use them. Now, of course, this is much better than getting absolutely nothing. And it does mean that if you are both a Pro Clubs player and a Volta player, you get a shared season. You get to progress no matter which game mode you go through. But the fact that you need to exit Pro Clubs to go into Volta, to claim everything there, to back out, to go into Pro Clubs, just makes it seem like a last-second decision. It was second thought to EA to add this in last minute because the rest of the changes aren't anything too special. Another change that has been mentioned is a fresher feel to drop-in matches. This being with new types of stadiums and new types of kits, with there being a better rotation so you won't leave one game, go into the next, and for it to be exactly the same. These drop-in matches have also been shortened from 8-minute halves down to 4-minute halves, making things a lot quicker and at a much faster pace, and games which end within a draw will no longer go to penalties. It will instead go to golden goal. This yet again leading into things going a lot quicker, it's much faster paced. It should lead to a more entertaining game. Last year with FIFA 22, EA announced that perks were coming for your players. This year is the exact same thing, we still have perks available, but there's a few slight differences. How you level up has changed. You will still get XP towards the end of every game, but now there will be a lot more levels, with the distance between each level being shorter, as in it requires less XP. With this leveling system, you are still limited to only one perk at the beginning. You need to rank up high enough for you to open up a second and a third. But with a lot of these perks, you should be able to unlock them a lot sooner at a much lower level, giving you the ability to test them even when you do only have one slot available. There will also be 4 new perks added to the game, 2 defensive and 2 for attacking. The 2 for defensive is Chase Down. This is a pace boost which is activated after a change of possession if you're running back towards goal. And the second one doesn't have a name, but it is an interception perk. This increases the chances of you intercepting the ball. As for attacking, there's one called Light Passes. This is for chance creation. This actually influences your teammates to be able to take a much better touch or trap the ball when you pass it to them. And there's also a Poacher perk, which when activated will push players into the box and boost their stats to increase the chances of them scoring. This being heading, volleys, finishing, everything in that area will be boosted. And the final change is that skill games have been added to Pro Clubs. And this is all the changes which are happening for FIFA 23. And let's be honest, none of them are particularly amazing. None of this actually encourages anyone to buy FIFA 23 to play pro clubs next year. And this honestly is such a shame. Even from someone who predominantly plays Ultimate Team, I still see pro clubs as one of the best game modes available. It has so much more potential than what Ultimate Team has, but it just gets no love. One of the things that I find annoying with Ultimate Team is the whole competitive nature of it, with it going into esports. And I'm not the only one with this opinion. It's still entertaining to watch, and there's still some amazing FIFA players out there, which what they can do on Ultimate Team is absolutely ridiculous. They are much better players than what I'll ever be. But even some of them agree when it's 11 versus 11, where one player is controlling 11 players and the other player is controlling 11 players, there is just way too many AI variables. What can cost a game is an AI decision, which could just be as simple as a lunge for the ball, which is completely mistimed, ends up causing a penalty, and you end up losing a game because of that one mistake which you have no control over. What a lot of people want to see is 11 versus 11, where there's 11 players with each player controlling their own player. But as a team, you have 100% control over the player that you're controlling. The only way that that player lunges for the ball is if you press the button. Not to mention the added skill on top of this of communication, rehearsed set pieces, and also having 100% control over your tactics. Now, of course, it's not all perfect. Getting 11 players to compete just for one team is going to be a lot more difficult than just getting one person to control 11 players with them all being AI. But I did just want to include this as part of this video because it is something that people talk about quite often within the community. This is something that people strive for, but it just doesn't happen. There's a lot of things that can be introduced into pro clubs. It has already been done in other game modes, but it always seems like pro clubs is that second thought. It's always on the last of the list. Even with the introduction of Volta now seems like it's above pro clubs. Now, since the beginning of 2022, there have been several articles coming out talking about the relationship between EA and FIFA and how FIFA pretty much dictates how everything happens. Now, with this being the last FIFA, which is developed by EA, this could just be the last of it, of where FIFA controls everything as they want to put all their money into Ultimate Team, improving that game mode and making the best possible return. And some players within the community are hoping that this is the true story. This is actually what's happening behind the scenes. Because if that is the case, it means for EA Sports FC next year, hopefully they'll have a bit more control, hopefully they'll listen to their community, and hopefully they will be pushing a lot more to pro clubs as well as other game modes than what they currently are. Whereas right now it is all one-sided with Ultimate Team, with some of the best features that cross over to the other game modes just slowly being drip fed over the next couple of years as they slowly implement the same changes to other game modes as what's currently within foot. But for us to actually find out if this is true and FIFA are just dictating everything, we do need to wait a full year. FIFA 23 isn't it for pro clubs. It's not really enticing me to actively go through this game mode. Of course, I will still play it when friends are available and I want to just hop on and have some fun. It'll be good on the release, but after the first month, there's probably nothing that's going to be keeping me in that game mode, as there's just no extra new content, nothing worth going through. And let's just hope that this is the last year with EA Sports FC being the game, which does open up to extra features coming to pro clubs. We just need to have faith within EA for them to actually implement these changes, and from previous reports, they haven't really got a good track record. Anyway guys, these are all the changes coming to pro clubs in FIFA 23. I'm pretty sure I know what your opinions are, but let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see ya.